Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an extra special bonus episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Today we are doing our official Royal Rumble predictions. It is Wrestling Christmas. Sancho, I am so excited for the Rumble. It is my favorite time of the year to be a wrestling fan. Are you as excited as I am, sir?
Definitely. The possibilities are endless, but this feels like not only it's the most stacked roster as advertised from the WWE, but just in general, like the mid-card feels fleshed out. This is a Triple H Royal Rumble, and for me, that's very exciting to get into it. But not only that, I think the ladies are going to surprise us again. They always do, and I feel like we're going to get some big returns, and it's going to be awesome, dude. The road to WrestleMania begins, brother.
But I've never seen a road to WrestleMania so not clear. Like, I can't really make sense of the tea leaves that I have.
Yes.
And that's what is great. You're right.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to get. Not only that, I don't even know what I want. There's so many things that are on the table that could happen that it feels like a buffet of wrestling goodness that we could get at WrestleMania. And all of the things that are being presented in front of me are things that I want to see, are things that I want to chomp my teeth down into. It's a great time, man, and it's rare air to be in this type of situation going into both men's and women's Royal Rumbles where there's so many potential winners that are logical, that make sense, that would have a great WrestleMania program, and not knowing which one of them is the favorite. It's nice. It's good. This is a good thing.
I think what makes Royal Rumbles fun is as well as the ability to be nostalgic. I mean, you might have a nice return for a legend. That's always fun, and this is the hopeful entry that someone could do it like an NXT. Someone could come in and at least put on a good show. As someone who's been watching the Royal Rumbles for Royal Rumble Review on our Patreon starting in 1992, where I'm currently in 2015, right? And it was fun to see, who is doing well that era, who's excelling, who's being pushed. But I want to put this out there. And if you're watching this now, do yourself a favor and watch Royal Rumble 2000 and what was it? 2014. Was that Punk's last Royal Rumble?
Yes, it was.
Watch that Royal Rumble because it will set the stage for this Royal Rumble in my mind. Because guess who starts off that Royal Rumble?
Is it Cody?
CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
1 and 2, brother.
They cool.
They start that off. Roman Reigns is in that Rumble as well. Has a great run in that one. And it boils down to, of course, CM Punk does get screwed over in that Royal Rumble as his last ride, but it is an amazing, and it's quite interesting to see what happens when the WWE, takes over. Daniel Bryan doesn't come out what everybody wanted, and Rey Mysterio doesn't get the return of Dave Bautista. So much good things leading up to this Royal Rumble in 2025. I think you need to do yourself a service and watch 2014. Now, you can watch it on your own, on your Peacock or whatever you like, or on your Netflix if you're international, or you can watch it with me on the Wrestling is Cool Patreon page. Check that out. Highly recommend it. We rank and review. We're already done 23 episodes. Highly recommend.
Yeah, lots of extra content over on the Patreon. Not just that, but the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the podcast early. This would have been early on the Patreon as well. All of the match watch-alongs that we do. Just so much more extra content that never appears on YouTube at all. So go check it out. Link in the description of this video if you are so inclined. But today we are going to be going through things match by match. We're going to tell you who we think is going to win, why they're going to win. Let's start things off with the WWE Tag Team Championship match between the champions DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, defending against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. I'll take this one first. I'm really excited for this match. I really, really am excited for this match from like a technical perspective, because the last time that I saw DIY in a best 2 out of 3 match, it was against the Revival at NXT TakeOver Toronto 2016, and that was an unbelievably good match. More than anything, I'm just happy that the tag team division is getting a spot on a PLE. Sancho, the last time was WrestleMania 40, if you can believe it. That is the last time that we've seen the tag titles get on a PLE. And to me, it speaks volumes that at the very least, they are making efforts on SmackDown to tell us narratives, tell us storylines, introduce people, introduce tag teams into the fold to the point where you can have a healthy enough tag team division to warrant a spot on a PLE. Not just any PLE, one of the biggest PLEs of the year. I've got, me personally, DIY retaining here. I think that there's just too much still to tell with DIY, and Pretty Deadly specifically. That's why I see dethroning DIY somewhere down the line. But more than anything, I'm just looking forward to these two having the definitive match that we've yet to see out of Motor City Machine Guns, in my opinion. We've had good matches from them, but we haven't had that otherworldly, Titanic shifting match from Motor City Machine Guns that so many people were hoping that we would get at this point in their WWE run. I feel like this could be it in a PLE stage for Awesome Workers in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. Brother, sign me up. I'm in. I'm taking DIY.
I think this is a misplay from the WWE, but hear me out, brother. I think the misplay is putting on the belts on Motor City Machine Guns so early that this could have been a great place for them to be the first time WWE Tag Team Champions in a Royal Rumble PLE, best out of 2 out of 3, where it is DIY's bread and butter. Like we mentioned, we have that match in Match Club, by the way. Highly recommend watching that one. But I just don't like the 2 out of 3 here, because the 2 out of 3 is telling me that they're trying to protect Motor City. They're going to give them a pin in this matchup, right? And that's going to be clear. And also, there's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I feel like this may be an overbooked thing. And I think the reason why they want to overbook it is just to give more juice to that tag team division. It's not going to be a clean 2 out of 3 NXT takeover type of thing where it's just going to be graps, brother. There's going to be a lot of legato, pretty deadly involved. Maybe, what was it? Street Profits. I think there could be some more of those outside factors leading into that 2 out of 3, leading to why Motor City, they have to lose, and not in a clean way. It's not an NXT match, brother. This is going to be a main roster shenanigan-filled tag team, not Bloodline Rules style, but it's not a match I'm looking forward to, simply because it feels like, hey, we need to give the tag team division something, and I don't think they're ready yet to be on this PLE. It's like it's not ready to be shoved out of the oven just yet, and I think we're a little too early on it. It's going to be one of those technical matches, of course, that the internet's going to love and we're all going to enjoy. But I feel like it's just a strange spot to be on a Royal Rumble that's supposed to be about star power. This is what I feel like the theme of this Royal Rumble is: star-studded event. And I feel like these guys are on just on the outside looking in, because they're not there yet. If I had to say who's going to win, I think this could be a place. We're just for the hell of it, I'm going to say Motor City. I have no ties to this match at all.
I couldn't disagree more with pretty much everything you just said. I don't think that there's going to be any shenanigans in this match. I feel like there's a reason why all of the shenanigans have been happening on Raw and SmackDown, and WWE recently with their PLEs have been very shenanigan free. I don't know if you've picked up on that, especially something like Saturday Night's Main Event, very shenanigan free.
Unless you're Bloodline.
Yeah, unless you're Bloodline, they've been keeping all of these third-party interferences out of these matches. I don't think it's clean for DIY with how they win. I think they use heel tactics, low blows. I feel are in the repertoire here. That's what helped them win the tag team championships in the first place. But I feel like it's clean in the sense that it's going to be just these two teams. I don't think that they create some crazy mess of having all of these other teams getting involved.
It could be a way for Triple H to say, hey, I could book like this too. Like I did in NXT, let me bring it to the main roster. Let's see if we could bring this kind of NXT black and gold glory days back to the roster. And this could be the conduit to do it. Possibly. It just feels like to me that the match is a little too early to be on this card.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's on the card and not on it. I'm so tired of the tag team titles consistently being put on the SmackDown before a PLE.
Right. The go home.
I'd rather let them sink or swim, right? Big stage. Can you prove that we can continue to have tag title matches on this stage? And if they sink, then it is what it is. But at the very least, the division sunk with two of the best tag teams that are available to represent them.
I kind of would have liked to see Chelsea Green here, an IC title maybe. And for people to be like, well, they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. There's been plenty of opportunities where they've had matches during the night and then they participate in the Rumble. I just feel like right now, 2 out of 3, sure. But why not just have a single one fall match and then have an IC title or a United States title, even Braun Breaker, something just to pad it out a little bit. I feel like it could overstay its welcome. But for me, they're trying to dip into the takeover vibes with that 2 out of 3.
So I've noticed in the last couple of Rumbles, it's not like a strictly factual thing, but they've been keeping people that are on the card out of the Rumble. If you remember last year, Kevin Owens and Logan Paul were not in the Rumble matches, respectively.
Right.
And neither were Randy Orton, LA Knight,
LA
and
Knight.
AJ Styles.
The Rumble suffered. Rumble suffered a lot.
It did. So I'm actually fine with if there's people that you can keep off the Rumble that should have matches, it is the tag team, because none of them are believable winners. They don't make sense being in the Rumble. So I'm okay sacrificing DIY and Motor City Machine Guns and not having them in the Rumble if it means a Chelsea Green, if it means a Braun Breaker having a good showing in the Rumble, and allowing those names that you're mentioning that could be having matches, instead building Mania-worthy programs within the Rumble with little micro feuds.
It's a valid point, because when I'm watching Royal Rumbles in the past, when that tag team's heavy, like when it's like the Head Shrinkers or the Godwins, you're just like, ugh, like they're just filler. Granted, there have been times when you have the Evan Bournes of the world, the Shelton Benjamins of the world, where they could pad out the Rumble and add some athleticism. And, Motor City would definitely be missed in the athleticism in Gargano and Ciampa, but you're right. When it's a tag team heavy thing, you kind of be like, all right, these are just like filler. These are NPCs going through just to get to the real guys who could win.
All right,
respectfully.
Let's talk about star power then, Sancho. Let's talk about Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, ladder match for the unification of the titles. It is champion Cody Rhodes versus champion Kevin Owens in a ladder match, undisputed WWE Championship. I took the first one. I'd like you to take the reins on this one.
This ladder match is interesting to me. This is a ladder match where I feel maybe Cody wanted to have a ladder match, because Cody Rhodes does have banger ladder matches. He had an amazing ladder match in the AEW with Sammy. So this is going to be one of the ones that are going to try to top that. This is going to be hard hitting. Kevin Owens not afraid to swanton off at anything. I think this could be definitely a contender for match of the year, but it all depends on I think the big spot, right? It has to. I think that a stunner is coming, a Cody cutter off those two ladders. They have to top what they did at AEW. Just see here, I have it here in Cody versus Kevin. You can't have Kevin Owens win here. I think Kevin Owens has been built up properly to have good main event feuds with other people, but he's not the person to beat Cody, and that's the hard pill to swallow for most Cody matches in this year. And this is not for the first time in forever, I would say, Santi, that this is not, it's supposed to be The Rock coming around the corner, right? It's not that situation anymore, because The Rock took himself off the plate on the first night of Netflix, where he just seemed to be Dwayne out there. This is more that we've been shown so many more matchups that interest us a lot more than Kevin Owens and anyone else. When CM Punk walked out there with Cody Rhodes and they had that promo on the Go Home on Monday Night Raw, I'm like, yes, this is what WrestleMania should feel like. And unfortunately, I don't think Kevin Owens is going to be a part of that picture. So this one's going to go to Cody Rhodes as being the first time ever. This is not him finishing the story. This is not him defending his father. This is him defending himself. And this is his first time ever in his run as an undisputed champion to be for himself. This is a Cody story that he's going to not necessarily finish, but a part of a solid chapter in the story, and defeating the heinous evil Kevin Owens, who's been pile driving everybody out of the sun. So I'm going to give this one to Cody Rhodes, but I don't think Cody Rhodes comes unscathed. I think this is going to put Cody on the shelf for a while, because he's been running hard for a long time, to give the John Cena's of the world, to give the CM Punks of the world a little bit more burn, to keep Cody fresh for Mania.
What do you mean? What do you mean by putting him on the shelf? Like, are you talking like not even appearing for promos? Are you saying like a hiatus for a bit?
A hiatus for a bit, because I think what's interesting is the CM Punk led that promo like the Crown. In the heavyweights, the Crown, it's poisoning you. I never seen you this way. Are you okay as a friend? I think Kevin Owens is going to bring a darkness out of Cody Rhodes. They've kind of hinted at it. There's like cracks of it with him attacking Carmelo Hayes, him screaming enough at anybody that gives him going. I think Cody Rhodes cracks a little bit, maybe takes a step back for a little bit to reset his mindset in a way. Of course, he's still going to be in dark shows and things, house shows and things like that. But I think it has to be like, oh my God, Cody is Cody okay? Like Cody went to a dark place to beat Kevin Owens, which has been hinted at before in matches like with AJ Styles, where he's literally threatening AJ Styles to hit him with the stairs in the I Quit match, and then he does it anyway. So I think that will be the case why Cody takes a step back. Not necessarily, it could be injury or that, but we got to keep Cody a little fresh because he's not getting stale, but it helps when someone goes away for like a couple of weeks.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like him taking a step away, though, kind of goes against that storyline of him working himself into potentially turning heel because he's working so hard. So I could see, him still being there every single week, and that continues to weigh on him more and more and more, especially depending on who wins the Men's Royal Rumble as well. Now, for me, I am keeping it on Cody Rhodes. I will say this is... I don't feel like it's an impossibility this time around for Kevin Owens to win. I feel like there's like a 5% chance. When I compare this to like Logan Paul or AJ Styles, that was a 0%. I never once thought that either one of those guys was going to dethrone Cody Rhodes.
I thought AJ might when he
I
used
never
his
did.
mama.
Yeah,
when he used his mama, there was a split second.
I never bought into it, me personally.
You think Cody would drop his mama like... I don't need like if he was Spider-Man had a choice, the belt or his mom would drop
the mama.
Yeah.
Mama Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes.
But I don't feel like it's impossible to think of a world where Kevin Owens wins. I do feel like the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk interaction makes it a bit more difficult to believe a world where Kevin Owens wins, but I'm still keeping it on Cody Rhodes. I think my question to you is, Sancho, do we see Randy Orton or Sami Zayn here? Randy Orton obviously makes sense because it was Kevin Owens that put him on the shelf, and a lot of us would like to see something developing between Cody Rhodes and maybe Randy Orton as well. And then there's Sami Zayn, who has been inserted into this storyline here in the Go Home episode when he haluva kicked Cody Rhodes and accidentally aligned himself with Kevin Owens. What are your thoughts here?
There's two different splits that could happen. I think Sammy is going to show up and he's going to get that moment of who's he here to help type of vibe. We've seen that every now and then. And he's going to help Kevin. He's going to help Cody. I think Randy Orton's going to step in and not care what Sammy's there to do and jump the gun and attack Sammy, therefore setting up a feud between Randy and Sammy. I think that'd be a fun thing going into Mania as one of those, feuds just to have something happen with both of them. I do think I'd rather see Randy in the Rumble. Not gonna lie, he is one of the best He's one of the best underrated performers in the Rumble. Watch 2009, Randy Orton. The man RKOs everybody out of oblivion, and he does it. He's like Kane in the Royal Rumble, but better in my eyes. I do think though this would be an opportunity for Randy Orton to do two things. One, help Cody retain after Sammy may screw over Cody and try to help Kevin. Randy's that X factor that the kind of even the playing field. And Cody gets upset at Randy helping him, thus setting up Cody versus Randy. Or Randy kind of interjects himself and interferes and screws over Cody in a way that it causes... I think Randy and Cody have to happen at some point. And if they're going to do that at this Mania, then this is a place where it starts too.
Yeah, I think there's still too many questions to figure out what we do with Cody Rhodes or Randy or Kevin Owens until we know how the dust settles post-Rumble match. I'm expecting a callback of Sami Zayn going out there with a chair, a la Royal Rumble 2023, where he had to choose between hitting Kevin or Roman Reigns. And then, except this time, he actually hits Kevin, unlike last time. So I still think that we get Sami Zayn being a good guy here, because I still think that the story is Karrion Kross massaging Sami Zayn more and more until maybe somewhere down the line. I feel like it'd be too early. It'd be too early. You feel like me mentioning Karrion Kross in any capacity is me talking positive about Karrion Kross.
But is it not that Karrion Kross is involved in the story?
No.
You think you just mentioned his name as if he's not a character.
He's a vehicle. He's a vehicle. He's not a character.
How do you get to point A to point B? Do you walk or do you take a car?
I drive a car, and my car isn't my best friend.
So your car's Karrion Kross, right? It's part of the story, isn't it right? Not right? You took a car to point A to point B.
Yeah, but I could take any car. That's the thing. My car isn't the only car that I could take. I could take public transportation if I want. I could call an Uber.
But they chose Karrion Kross as the car.
Yeah, but like if they were to choose literally anybody else, it'd be fine. Or if they were to choose nobody, if they chose to walk, it'd be fine. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sit back down. Trying to glaze Karrion Kross. I'm going to stop that real quick. Sit down, Sancho West. Sit down.
Kross is coming. I'm already sitting 1. 2. Karrion Kross is coming after John Cena. He's coming after John Cena, and you better like it because he's coming for John.
I'm going to hate it.
No, you're not. You're going to eat it up.
No. Let's talk about the Rumble matches now. The Women's Royal Rumble match. We have a handful of people already announced. Sancho, I got a couple questions before we get to like winner. All right, we'll go.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
we'll bounce back and forth. First and foremost, who will be the Iron Woman of this Rumble match?
Jordan Grace.
You got Jordan
Grace
Grace.
is going to be the Iron Woman who newly signed to WWE per Fightful.
Of course, gotta credit Fightful.
Yep, got a credit. Jordan Grace is definitely going to be the Iron Woman, considering that she needs to make the great impression. She already made a solid surprise impression, but at that time, people still were like, wait, who is she? I think now that they have the relationship between WWE and TNA, and she's been on NXT, we know who she is. I think you give her that great run to solidify her as a main eventer on the main roster. Not necessarily like instantly going after the world title, right? That's if she wins. I think she's going to be the perfect foe for Lyra Valkyria. I think the IC title for the women's needs a good first feud. And I think Lyra Valkyria versus Jordan Grace would be that great feud to add eyes. Be a hell of a match. Hell of a match. Just to add eyes to that picture, the title picture, and to solidify that legacy that we've been looking for. And even the idea of a Nikki Bella, right? If Nikki Bella comes back, that could be another person that could add more prestige to the IC title picture or the United States title picture. But the Iron Woman, to answer your question, would be Jordan Grace.
Okay. Mine is Liv Morgan. I feel like with Liv Morgan having such great outings in the last two Royal Rumbles, being the runner-up in the last two, I feel like she's going to have a good run here. They're setting her up as well as a threat because she's pinned Bianca Belair, she's pinned Naomi, she has backup in Raquel Rodriguez. I could see her being the slimy heel that is in there for a really, really long time. Not necessarily eliminating people left, right, and center. That's not what the Iron Woman is. But I could see her using all kinds of tactics, maybe even Dominic Mysterio, because he's in the doghouse, to continue to keep herself in the Rumble for a really, really long time. I think she's the Iron Woman.
So you're thinking that Liv Morgan is going to pull Shawn Michaels in 94. In 94, Shawn Michaels goes a long way, but then mid-match gets help from Diesel.
Could be.
Like Diesel shows up and then Diesel starts working. But guess who threw out Diesel?
I don't know.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh. That's funny. That's funny.
So I could definitely see that from Liv and Raquel. I don't like the idea of Liv being put in the tag team division because that's a lot of people are seemingly edging that way. I would hope that she does get the main event, continues it to be in that nebulous of the main event. Santi, who is going to be your biggest surprise in the Royal Rumble?
Like surprise entrant?
Yeah.
For the women, I've got Masha Slamovich. I feel like a lot of people are expecting a TNA entrant, and they've got blinders on for just Jordan Grace. But Jordan Grace is a WWE person now, so yeah. I am expecting perfect. I am expecting like other names like Becky Lynch and whatnot, but I feel like the one Forbidden Door is going to be Masha Slamovich. For those that don't know, that's the TNA Women's or Knockouts champion. What about you? What's your one big surprise of this Women's Rumble?
It really does feel like Michelle McCool's going to be in again, right? They keep putting her everywhere.
They do. She's always in great shape, bro. She's always in fighting shape.
I think what's her name? Alondra Blaze.
Oh, great. Yeah, she's quite a bit older though. But she looked great. Yeah, sure.
She looked great. I think it's going to be what's her name? It's another TNA. It's Gail Kim.
Gail Kim. Oh man. Okay, that's a callback. Former women's champion in WWE. Early on, she was a former WWE Women's Champion.
Just to add the little bit of that panache with Penta, because you remember they had that gauntlet match on Lucha Underground.
There's also the fact that Gail Kim is TNA Women's Wrestling. She's AJ. TNA is the house that AJ Styles built. The Knockouts division is the house that Gail Kim built. So if you want to create that connection, that'd be kind of cool.
It'd be a nice stare down with Jordan Grace as well.
Sure. I agree. Final four. Your final four.
Final four is going to be. We brought this up in the podcast, but I in the back of my mind I forgot about it. But Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. I want to add in Lyra just because she's a great underdog hopeful. And 4 Nia Jax or Jade Cargill.
Okay, we have 3 of the 4 the same. I have Charlotte and Becky. I have Jade Cargill and Io Sky.
Ooh, Io. Io had a great moment with Bailey where this is, I'll see you on Saturday. Like, really, really good stuff. The women's buildup hasn't been great. It's good. It's passable. I wish it could be better. But the Final Four, I think it's prestigious. I think making it to the Final Four is a big deal. And I think that at the end of the day, though, just to jump the gun here, Becky Lynch wins. Becky wins on her return, because when you make a return from a long hiatus, that's a +5 in your power, +10 in resiliency. You're going to be able to make it all the way to the end. And who's she going to face? Tiffany Stratton. And that's going to be a great recall or rematch of the NXT match between Becky and Tiffy.
Yeah, their feud was great. So you're jumped the gun there. So the winner is Becky Lynch. Winner is Becky Lynch. For me, I'm going to go with Io Sky. I like the concept of out of sight, out of mind. Every single one of these other women is like, I'm in the Rumble, making like big announcements on the mic. But no one is getting, like, for example, when you look at the men, CM Punk is the only guy that's like been talking about being in the Rumble like every single week, right? They really spearheaded him as like, he's the front runner.
And he hasn't main evented at WrestleMania.
Correct. None of the women have gotten that treatment. They've all just sort of gotten like, I'm in the Rumble, I'm in the Rumble, I'm in the Rumble. The only person that like hasn't gotten that at all, it was like an in the shadows moment with her and Bailey saying, I'll see you at the Rumble, is Io Sky. So I'm going to go with Io Sky being a sneaky, out of nowhere, out of left field winner that didn't get any shine or any love leading into this. I think she wins it. And her versus Rhea is the best available matchup with the talent that you currently have on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely for sure. I mean, Rhea doesn't have that many opponents. Rhea is the Cody Rhodes of the women's division, where there's only like 2% of the roster could face Rhea and have a formidable chance that we haven't seen yet, right? We've seen a lot of Rhea versus Nia. We've seen that. We've even seen Rhea versus Becky. So that's why I think if Becky wins, Becky's going to go after Tiffany Stratton.
Maybe. That just, it creates some problems with Charlotte, right? Because everybody wants Charlotte versus Tiffany. What do you do?
Charlotte versus Rhea.
Well, I already seen that. Yeah,
but this is a different Charlotte, though, bro.
I mean, we're moving the goalposts. We're moving the goalposts now.
But I'm saying on paper, it's a different Charlotte. Like the vignette is a totally different. It's like a Carmella, Charlotte, Ash by Elegance.
You realize that would be Charlotte versus Rhea Part 3 at WrestleMania.
They banged though. They banged on 39.
They did, yeah. I mean, it's just again moving the goalposts when you're saying, finding somebody that she hasn't faced before, and then you suggest the person she's had twice at Mania.
Yeah, but Rhea and Nia, we just saw recently, and we saw in Perth, but Charlotte's been on the shelf for a while, and Charlotte's a different Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
It's different.
Assume, we think. We don't actually know yet.
Oh, I could tell.
Okay. All right.
Limousine riding. Jet flying. Come on, brother.
Now let's talk about the Big Kahuna. The men's Royal Rumble match. I call it the Big Kahuna not because I think the men's Rumble is more important than the women's Rumble, but it's been treated as such in the booking, in terms of the names that are in here, in terms of the storytelling that they've interwoven going into the men's Royal Rumble match. This is clearly the Empire State Building for the WWE going into the Rumble. This is the big thing that they're building into. I'm confident that this is going to be the thing that closes the show, not the ladder match or anything like that. The 30-man Royal Rumble match. Let's break it down again. Iron Man, Sancho, who you got?
Iron Man. So they have to enter at 1. I have Chad Gable.
You got Chad Gable. That's a great Iron Man, actually. I feel like you and I might be in the same wavelength with types of Iron Man because I've got Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes has just sort of been a workhorse in the mid-card, right? He kind of is the mid-card Iron Man right now with how much he works, how much he just appears. He randomly appeared at the end of Monday Night Raw. The dude's just everywhere. And the type of wrestling that he does meshes so well with everybody. I haven't seen him mesh poorly with anyone. So he could have so many micro moments with a bunch of members of the Royal Rumble match. So I got Carmelo Hayes going deep because a lot of people are fantasy booking Carmelo Hayes at 1, Trick Williams at 2. And if that is the case, if Carmelo is a really early entry, I think he's an early favorite for Iron Man.
That reminds me of Jay and Jimmy. Remember when they opened the Rumble?
Yep.
And everyone was like, ooh, we want to see this at Mania.
And then we regretted it. Oh man, I rewatched that match recently. It is equally bad. It is worse than a rewatch. It is worse than a rewatch. I thought it was like maybe we were harsh. No, it is equally bad.
I saw like a hyper edit of it, right? So it was like super kick, super kick, super kick. I was like, oh god, that was
yeah, man.
But yeah, I like Chad Gable as an Iron Man. Simply, he is the workhorse. He could mesh well with everybody. Same reasons why for Mello, but I think he could be an Iron Man because he has the Creed brothers on his side, and they'll give him a little bit more oomph, make him last a little bit longer.
Sure.
But guess who eliminates the Creed brothers?
Is it gonna be Chad?
Yeah, it's gonna be Chad.
Oh, that'd be funny.
His point, just to be like, hey, you guys need to step it up a notch. So
I kind of like that booking.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have? You know what? Quickly for the women, who gets the most eliminations? Because I forgot to ask you this.
Dog, you may hate Nia.
Oh, I've got Charlotte because I've got her coming in early, and I feel like they're gonna make her dominant in this Rumble.
I think Charlotte comes in at number 27.
You got to see. I've got her in my head early because they announced her. So like this like ever looming presence of Charlotte coming may just feel like this like danger is coming, but like there's no shock or surprise value to it anymore.
The shock and surprise is Becky, right? So Becky's gonna come in like at 30.
Yeah. Okay. Men's Rumble. Who gets the most eliminations?
Men's Rumble.
Come on, you know the answer.
Jacob Fatu.
It's Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is going to clear house. I want him to have the Brock Lesnar standing him in the ring, the Stone Cold. All right. Who's coming up next? I'm on a time clock. I want him to devour everybody. So I guess that's good that Motor City Machine Guns and DIY is not in there because guess who's going to be in there? Pretty deadly. Like those are the kind of guys that you're going to feed Jacob Fatu to. And you got to have, this is the perfect platform for him to show out. They try to do it in Saturday Night Main Event to show how brutal he is and strong he is. But this is right here because when you could put Jacob Fatu and no one else has been standing like tall to him, guess who does? Guess who's waiting? And that is going to be the stare down of the Rumble, baby. John Cena and Jacob Fatu. That'd
be wild. That'd be wild. I got goosebumps. Spin the belt.
there it is.
That's also my person that gets the most eliminations. We're both in sync there. Let's talk about Final Four. Let me go with mine.
Sure.
I don't buy Seth Rollins. His promo on Monday Night Raw that he's gonna win the Rumble. Nah, man. I see you winning the Elimination Chamber maybe, but not the Rumble. I think Final Four is CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, and John Cena. I feel like you've got the potential to tell the really fun stare downs just between those four, right? The stare down that we want between Punk and Cena, nice fun callback. But then the continued hatred and rivalry between Punk and McIntyre, the potential Mania main event that people want to see in Punk and Roman. And you can say the same thing about all three of those guys when compared to the other three that are in there. So many cool interwoven narratives with just those four alone. And having Cena trying to overcome the odds and seeing those three legendary figures in WWE today standing between him and winning the Royal Rumble creates that even kind of deeper sense of Cena has to dig deep to be able to win the Rumble. I don't think that he does, spoiler alert, but it just creates so many cool narratives for those four specifically in the Final Four.
I'm predicting John Cena to have, I think it was 2010 Shawn Michaels run in the Royal Rumble, where he's like, oh my God, he's getting so close because Shawn wants to face Taker.
He's in panic mode.
He's in panic mode and he's doing his best. And I remember that because literally he super kicks, I think it's Chris Jericho out. And then Shawn Michaels gets pushed out by Batista. in that one.
And then he's trying to hang on. That's so cool.
Yeah. And then Batista hits his hand, right? He's smacking his hand. And then Shawn Michaels crashes out. And I want to see that version of John Cena where John Cena, you know him more than anybody, but have you seen him actually really, really want it and lose? Have you ever seen him for example, quick little detour. You ever played Marvel Rivals? And you're winning, and you're in rank, and you're winning, and you start to win. You get that taste of winning, and then when you lose, you get so toxic that you lost. I want to see a little toxic John Cena. You know what I mean? Like get a little crash out, like Sean did in 2010, where I think Sean beat up a referee on the way out. Like that's how pissed he was that he lost.
Ooh, you want to see the Cena crash out? I'm here for that. I would love for them to tell a narrative like that, but you need him in the Final Four to be able to tell that specifically.
You need him in the Final Four, and you need him to last a good chunk.
Yeah,
he can't be. Though the win he got in 2008 was he came in at 30 after his comeback, and 30 it felt so short lived that you know like, oh, I guess he was here. And then the first time he won, there was a run when he was the Thungonomics. That was a good solid run.
Yeah,
and he got to the very end. Like I like that John Cena. So you need a good run from it. I have the same Final Four. There's just too many narratives to push off of it and too much drama. And this is a rare Royal Rumble, as someone who's been watching so many, where we said any of these guys could win and you wouldn't be upset.
Right.
There has been Royal Rumbles where you're like going like, I pray to God Roman doesn't win here. Anybody but Roman.
And
right?
he does anyway.
and Randy Orton won that one. You're like,
one,
oh, thank God Randy won that one. So there's none of that here. There's none of like, oh, where's Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan needs to be here. Oh, Daniel Bryan didn't come out. Screw Rey Mysterio. You suck. Screw Dave Bautista. Like, there's none of that going in. And I think that's because that's a detriment. That's a credit to Triple H's booking, where the WWE is not the authority. They're not the heels. There's no one here to screw over anybody. My prediction, though, is CM Punk's going to call in a favor. Now, that favor could go two ways. It could either be that Paul Heyman gifts the Royal Rumble to CM Punk, a la getting the bloodline to help him, which could be a possibility because he calls in that favor, right? Maybe Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, maybe Solo. I don't know. Someone helps CM Punk from the bloodline to get him to that point, to the Final Four. Maybe they come in and screw over Roman. There's so many different possibilities that lead to CM Punk cashing in his favor.
It would be interesting if the favor is cashed in. Like, let's say Punk wins, right?
Right.
And he said, I cashed in the favor, but you didn't really know what the favor was. But like, let's say, let me fantasy book here for a second. All right.
Go ahead.
Let's say we're in like the Final Four or maybe Final Five. Yeah. And Roman Reigns is in there, and then Jacob Fatu comes back in after being eliminated, attacks Roman, throws Roman out, and you think, oh, it's an angry Jacob Fatu. But in the background, that was the favor. Paul Heyman getting Jacob Fatu to go in there to eliminate Roman to help Punk win. And then once Punk wins, dust is settled, you're like, yeah, I cashed in the favor, but we don't know what the favor was.
Or he reveals a favor on Monday.
Something like that, yeah. That'd be sick, right? That'd be sick. Yeah.
To reveal that he has become a heel. Like he's CM Punk.
That'd be cool.
Right? Because there's nothing more than, I think in this current day, modern day wrestling, or in general, we just hate people who take shortcuts like that, right? And this would be the ultimate shortcut for CM Punk to screw over somebody. And it'd be interesting because how did CM Punk leave 2014 Royal Rumble, his last match ever? Corporate Kane grabbing him and throwing him out of the ring. So it'd be an interesting flat circle moment here where CM Punk screws somebody over. But again, I'm jumping the gun. My winner, CM Punk.
My winner, CM Punk too. They set him up too perfectly to be the winner here, especially in that go home segment, which was a cool callback to the previous go home segment of last year's Rumble with those two guys. And one of those two guys won last year. Wouldn't be surprised if one of those two guys wins this year. The difference is that only one of those guys is in the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Punk. I'm going to go with Punk. I'm going to lock in that answer.
What if Punk's favor is to be 30?
That's so simple. That's too simple,
right?
A little bit too easy. But maybe it is. I don't want them. What I don't want is another contract addendum situation where they just don't come up with anything and they're just like maybe they'll forget about it. Let's just don't bring it up again.
We will never forget. But CM Punk winning, I think it would be his first ever
Rumble. It is his first Rumble, yes. His first Rumble win.
Because I haven't watched all the Royal. Oh, I guess I have. I guess I did watch his entire career. Yep. Starting off with he had a lot of moments where he would just come in, and then he got a good run as straight edge Punk, and that was a fun moment. I think that was 2010. If I want to correct me on that, if I remember that. But yeah, I've never seen CM Punk win the Rumble. Every time I see him do his thing, he always gets eliminated. Like not even in the Final Four. Like,
it's always a Cena or an Orton. It's always the bigger name. But now he's the big name in this, man. Now he's the big name.
Yeah, but again, highly recommend you watching 2014 when CM Punk came out, and then Seth Rollins as Shield Rollins comes from the crowd. I'm like, oh my god, wait a minute! And guess who's number 3? Cody Rhodes.
No shot.
No, Sandow. Sandow is
Oh.
number 3, and number 4 is Cody Rhodes.
Oh, okay, that's less hype. If it was 3 Cody, that's still that's cool. That's cool.
You get them all 3 in the ring because Sandow gets dumped early by CM Punk. But yeah, dude, it's Cody Rhodes, and that was really cool to see CM Punk and Cody Rhodes fighting Seth Rollins. I'm gonna double check myself, but yeah.
All right.
Again, I feel like I'm enjoying the Royal Rumbles. It's a fun journey to go through, and like I said, it's my favorite WWE gimmick match, and I think it's a lot of casual people's favorite because it's just you get to sit back, relax. An hour of wrestling happens, and someone comes back from the past. That's cool. Now, my quick question for you: who is the surprise men's Royal Rumble entrant? We didn't really get into that.
I think it's Joe Hendry, just to keep it nice and simple. Continue the TNA. I said Masha Slamovich for the women. I'm going to say Joe Hendry here for the men. What you got?
Matt Cardona.
Ooh, I would love that, bro. Oh, I would love that.
This would be a great way for Matt Cardona to start working his way back in the main roster. I saw a video of him talking how he never signs a contract because he always wants to be ready. Always ready is his gimmick, right? And I think that he's going to be always ready because he never signed a contract with AEW, TNA. I think he's been waiting for the WWE contract. And what a way to be available to make it a surprise entrant as Royal Rumble entrant, and he will be as Matt Cardona.
He's earned the name to stay as Matt Cardona. What would you feel about him being eliminated 6 seconds like Chelsea Green? Like just getting, because that is a big moment. Good. That right, it'd be brilliant. It would be brilliant. Always ready to suck ass.
It'd be interesting, but I think what his ultimate GPS is to be like a manager of valet for Chelsea Green.
Dude, I would love for Matt Cardona to come back, but we'll wrap it up there.
Wait. I gotta ask a question. Does Rusev make a comeback?
No, I don't see it. I don't see it. What about Aleister Black?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
I agree. He might like the people don't forget quickly is Royal Rumbles are not only meant for the main event, but they're meant for mid-card feuds.
Sure.
So Aleister Black versus Penta, that'd be nice if we got a little bit of that. Ray versus Penta. We didn't even talk about Penta. I think Penta is going to have a long run and he's going to get tossed out. Dude, if you get this right, I'll give you 5 gifted. Who is Penta going to get tossed out by?
I think he gets tossed out by Dominic Mysterio. It's a good pick. I think he gets, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
I'm mad at you picked it. I'm going to go with Ray.
And then I eliminated Penta. He thought that he could come into the WWE and wear a mask. I don't think so, amigo.
And then I said, that'll work for me, hermano.
Hermano. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening to this extra bonus episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Don't forget that we do have a full episode already up and available on the Patreon. You guys take care. Be wonderful people. And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.